You know what it is, that feeling, 3 a.m., or maybe it's 3 p.m. in the middle of a Wednesday, and something inside you aches, it whispers, it screams, it says, this is not it, this is not the life, where is the version of me that is strong, that is disciplined, that is free, that finished what they started. You see that person in your mind, clear as day, they're healthy, they're wealthy in spirit and in action, they have a calm power, they move through the world with intention. And then you look at the gap, the canyon between that person and the you sitting here right now, and it feels impossible. The mountain is too high, the path is too long, the first step is too heavy. So what do? You reach for the phone, you scroll, you snack, you sink into the couch of tomorrow. You make a grand, complicated plan that feels good to write but dies in the doing. You try to change everything in one heroic, exhausting leap. And you fail, again, and that voice, that 3 a.m. voice, gets a little quieter, a little more resigned. See, I told you, you don't have it, you never will. What if I told you that voice is a liar? What if I told you that the entire secret, the entire architecture of building a new identity, a new life, is hidden not in a massive act of will, but in a 2-minute decision? I'm not talking about theory. I'm not talking about a cute life hack. I am talking about the fundamental law of motion applied to the human soul. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. You are that object. And you have been at rest for so long, you've forgotten what motion feels like. You think motion has to be a sprint, a marathon, a Herculean effort. That's the lie. Real motion, transformational motion, begins with a twitch. A microaction so small, so simple, so undeniably easy that to refuse it would be absurd. This is the 2-minute rule, and it is not just a rule, it is a psychological master key. Here's the rule in its devastating simplicity. Any habit you wish to build, any identity you wish to adopt, you must first scale down until it can be done in 2 minutes or less. You do not run a marathon. You put on your running shoes, you do not write a novel. You open the document and write one sentence. You do not master the piano. You sit on the bench and play one scale. You do not transform your chaotic home into a temple of peace. You wash one single dish. You do not become a person of profound knowledge. You read one page for 2 minutes, that's it. Tony, you say, that's ridiculous. What good is one dish? What good is one sentence? The mountain is still there. Ah, but you are missing the point. The point is not the task. The point is the ritual. The point is the vote. You are not voting for the action. You are voting for the identity. When you put on those running shoes, you are not a person trying to run. You are a runner. What does a runner do? Runners run. But first, they put on their shoes. You have performed the sacred, inaugural act of the tribe you wish to join. You have told your nervous system, your subconscious, the deepest part of your being, this is who we are now. It is a whisper of identity, and whispers repeated become a roar. The 2-minute rule is a Trojan horse. You are not trying to storm the castle of your old self with a battering ram of effort. That castle is too well fortified with excuses, with fear, with the memory of past failures. No, you are building a tiny, beautiful, innocent-looking wooden horse right outside the gate. It's so small, so non-threatening. It's just 2 minutes. The guards say, what harm could it do? They open the gates. They let it in, and then in the dark of night, something extraordinary happens. The soldiers inside the horse, they don't jump out swinging swords, they simply begin to build. They build a new foundation right in the heart of the old kingdom. Brick by brick, 2 minutes by 2 minutes. You see, the rule has 2 magical phases. Phase 1, the unbreakable ritual. This is where you master the art of showing up. Your only job is to be flawless for 2 minutes. You must become the person who always puts on the shoes, who always opens the document, who always sits on the bench. Perfection is not only possible here, it is required. Can you be perfect for 120 seconds? Of course you can. You are not fighting the resistance of the massive task, you are disarming it. You are making the cost of entry so laughably low that the part of your brain that loves comfort, that fears expenditure, says, well, okay, that's easy enough, we can do that. This phase is not about results. It is about proof. Proof to yourself that you are a person of your word. That when you say you will do something, you do it. Every single time. You are rebuilding the most important relationship you will ever have. The relationship with yourself. And trust is built in 2-minute increments. Phase 2, the expansion, this is where the magic leaks out. Because once you've put on the shoes, you might as well step outside. Once you're outside, you might as walk to the end of the driveway, and once you're walking, well, running for just 1 more minute doesn't seem so hard. The massive barrier was never the 5th mile. The massive barrier was the couch. You have already crossed the Rubicon of inertia. The 2-minute rule is the starter chord on the lawnmower of your life. You don't try to push the whole mower. You give one sharp, focused, easy pull, and the engine roars to life. Now you're not pulling anymore. You're being pulled forward by the momentum you created. But you have to understand the neuroscience of this. Your brain is a prediction machine wired to conserve energy. It looks at run 5 miles and it calculates the pain, the sweat, the time, the discomfort. It throws up every alarm bell. It's a threat to the system, so it generates the feelings of dread, of exhaustion before you even move. But put on shoes, that's not a threat. That's a neutral action. No alarms, so you do it. And in doing it, you create a new prediction. Oh, we're doing this, and it was okay. In fact, it felt good. You get a hit of dopamine, the reward for completion. Now the brain starts to rewire. The path from idea to action gets a little wider, a little more paved. Do it again tomorrow, and the path becomes a trail. Do it for a week, it becomes a road. Do it for a month, and it becomes a neurological superhighway. The habit is no longer something you do, it is something you are. The action has become part of your identity. So let's get visceral. Let's talk about the pain you're in right now, the pain of missed potential. The pain of a body that doesn't feel like yours, the pain of a mind that feels cluttered and foggy, the pain of dreams that are gathering dust. That pain is real, and you have 2 choices. You can continue to feel the pain of regret, of stagnation, of decay. Or you can trade it for a different kind of pain, the pain of discipline. But here's the secret. The pain of discipline is not a 24/7 scream. It is a 2-minute decision. It is the sharp, clean pain of tearing Velcro, of breaking the seal. It is momentary, and on the other side of that 2-minute decision is a feeling 1,000 times more powerful than the numbness of avoidance. It is the feeling of pride. It is the feeling of strength. It is the feeling of whispering to yourself, hell yes, I did it. I am the one who does the thing. You want to change your finances. Don't try to budget your entire life. For 2 minutes, open your bank app and just look at it. No judgment, just look. You want to save your relationship. Don't try to have the 5-hour transformative conversation. For 2 minutes, put your phone down, look your partner in the eye, and say, tell me one thing about your day. You want to conquer the clutter that's suffocating your spirit. Don't look at the whole garage. Look at one shelf for 2 minutes. You are not looking for a finish line. You are looking for a starting line so close to where you're standing that you're already almost on top of it. I know what some of you are thinking. This is too small. My dreams are massive. My problems are epic. This is a child's solution. Is it? Look at nature. The mighty oak was once a nut that held its ground. The Grand Canyon was carved by the persistent, gentle flow of water. The tide that moves continents comes in 2-minute increments of wave after wave after wave. You are a force of nature, and you have been trying to erupt like a volcano once and then be done. But true power is tidal. It is consistent. It is daily. It is 2 minutes of undeniable, unwavering commitment. This is how you build a life not on a foundation of sand, of grand, crumbling gestures, but on a foundation of stone. One stone, 2 minutes, laid perfectly next to the other. Every single day. You look up after a year, and you are not standing in a dusty field of good intentions. You are standing in a cathedral that you built with your own 2 hands. 2 minutes at a time. The clock is ticking right now, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next year. This very second is a 2-minute block that will never come again. So I want you to feel this in your body. I want you to put your hand on your chest. Feel that heartbeat. That is a drum counting down your life. It is the most precious rhythm in the universe, and you have a choice right now in harmony with that next beat. What is the one thing, the one habit that, if you became a master of it, would change everything? Got it? Now shrink it. Shrink it down until it is so small it almost makes you laugh. Until it is so easy it would be harder to not do it. That is your new sacred ritual. That is your Trojan horse. That is your starter chord. Your future self, that powerful, radiant, disciplined being you dream of, is not waiting for you at the end of a long, hard road. They are waiting for you just 2 minutes away. They are waiting for you to put on the shoes, to open the document, to sit on the bench, to wash the single dish. They are whispering, just come this far. Meet me here. I will handle the rest. The power is not in the effort. The power is in the consistency. The power is in the ritual. The power is in the identity. So stand up right now, wherever you are. Set a timer on your phone for 120 seconds and begin, not with the whole mountain, with the pebble. Pick it up, place it. This is how you build habits. This is how you build discipline. This is how you build a life that is not lived by default, but by design. 2 minutes. Your move. The world is waiting. Now, go. Because I know what happens after the first 2 minutes. The resistance doesn't just vanish, it transforms, it gets clever. You'll do it for 3 days, and on the 4th morning that old, familiar voice will return. But it won't shout, it will reason, it will say, you've done so well, you deserve a break, 1 day off won't matter, you can do it tomorrow, it's just 2 minutes. What's the big deal if you skip it? This is the critical moment. This is the battlefield where lives are decided. This is where the 2-minute rule reveals its second, even more profound power. It becomes your non-negotiable standard. You see, you are not negotiating with a task. You are negotiating with a ghost, the ghost of every time you quit on yourself, every time you chose the immediate comfort over the long-term pride. That ghost is strong. It has won many battles, but now you have a weapon so simple it's lethal. You don't have to argue with the ghost about running 5 miles, or writing a chapter, or cleaning the entire house. The argument is impossibly small. The ghost says, don't run 5 miles, and you say, I'm not. I'm just putting on my shoes. You shrink the negotiation down to a size where you cannot possibly lose. Just put on the shoes. Can you do that? Of course you can. Just open the document. Can you do that? It's a mouse click. Just fill 1 glass with water and drink it. Can you do that? You're already moving. You make the cost of saying no psychologically higher than the cost of saying yes. Because to refuse to put on your shoes for 120 seconds is to admit something devastating to yourself. I am so weak, I cannot even perform the smallest, most symbolic act of my own salvation. That is a truth the psyche will rarely endure. It is easier to just put on the damn shoes, and in that moment, you are doing something far greater than building a habit. You are forging integrity, internal integrity, the alignment of what you say you want with what you actually do. Most people's souls are shattered into 1,000 pieces. They want health but reach for poison. They want connection but stare at a screen. They want wealth but indulge in poverty habits. You are gathering those pieces 1 2-minute ritual at a time and fusing them back together with the fire of your own follow-through. Let's talk about momentum. Physics tells us it's mass times velocity. Your mass is the weight of your identity, your dreams, your potential. It's huge, but your velocity has been 0. You've been still, a massive object at rest. To move it seems to require a massive force, a force you've never been able to muster. But the 2-minute rule changes the equation. You are not applying the force to the whole mass. You are applying it to the tiniest point on the surface. You are giving the boulder of your life the smallest, most precise nudge. And because the boulder is on the slope of your deepest desires, because you want that change, gravity takes over, momentum begins. It is slow at first, imperceptible, but with each consecutive nudge, each day of putting on the shoes, the velocity increases. A month from now, you will look back and realize the boulder is not just moving, it's rolling, and you are not exhausting yourself pushing it anymore. You are running beside it, guiding it, empowered by its own gathering force. This is how you eat an elephant, not in one insane bite, but 1 2-minute bite at a time, and one day you look up and the elephant is gone. You have consumed the impossible. Now feel this. I want you to think of the person you admire most. The one whose discipline, whose character, whose achievements take your breath away. Do you think they woke up one day as that finished monument? No. They were once a crumbling piece of clay just like you. And they made a decision. They likely didn't call it the 2-minute rule. They called it showing up. They called it doing the work. They called it honoring the commitment. They understood the atomic structure of greatness. that the massive molecule of mastery is made of tiny, 2-minute atoms of choice, linked together, one after the other. Your life right now is a perfect reflection of your past 2-minute decisions, the clutter. The result of deciding, I'll put it away later. The extra weight, the result of deciding, one more bite won't matter. The unused talent, the result of deciding, I'll practice tomorrow. You have been voting against yourself in 1,000 tiny elections every day. And you have lost the race. Starting today, you change the voting process. Every 2-minute ritual is a vote for the new you. You don't need a majority. You don't need to win every minute of the day. You just need to win enough of these tiny, critical elections to swing the leadership of your soul, to install a new government, a government of discipline, of self-respect, of action. And when you win that first election, when you put on the shoes on the day you wanted to quit, you must celebrate. This is not optional. You must pump your fist. You must say yes out loud. You must give yourself that hit of pride. You are teaching your nervous system that this action leads to reward. You are making the new path not just a road, but a pleasurable road. You are becoming addicted to winning, because this isn't about deprivation. This is about becoming. It's about the euphoria of meeting your own eyes in the mirror and seeing a glint of respect staring back. It's about the quiet confidence that seeps into your voice because you know, deep in your bones, that you are a person who does what they say they will do. That confidence is the most attractive, powerful force in the universe. It opens doors that no amount of begging or hustling ever could. So I challenge you now not to a marathon, not to a monumental overhaul. I challenge you to a 2-minute revolution. For the next 30 days, you will choose one core identity. I am a healthy person. I am a writer. I am a calm and present parent. I am a master of my craft. And you will define the 2-minute inaugural ritual of that identity. And you will defend that 2 minutes like a lion defends its cubs. You will let nothing, no excuse, no urgent email, no I'm tired, violate that sacred space. You will treat those 2 minutes with the reverence of a holy practice, because that is what they are. They are your daily communion with your future self. In 30 days, you will not just have a new habit, you will have a new evidence, a stack of proof a mile high that you are who you say you are, and with that evidence, no voice of doubt, no external critic, no past failure can ever shake you again. You will have built an unshakable fortress of self-trust. 2 minutes at a time, the time for thinking about it is over, the analysis is done, the mountain of information has not saved you, only action will. And action has now been made accessible, so take a breath, feel the air fill your lungs, that is life, that is potential, that is your fuel. Now decide, what is your 2-minute ritual, name it, claim it. And then, with the ferocity of a warrior and the simplicity of a child, go do it. The revolution starts now, not with a bang, with a whisper, with a deep breath, with a decision so small the world will miss it. But you will feel it, and that feeling is the beginning of everything.